Woo-wee, it's cowboy time. Let's cook this up. All right, my meal for over the road. And this is Slow Cooker Cowboy Beans. But I changed up the recipe the way I like it for me to eat. So, it called for 1 pound of hamburger for this recipe. I put in 2. And what I do is I season my meat with salt, pepper, garlic, onion. You put your salt and pepper, seasoning salt, the way you want to. So I got my meat seasoned. Then it called for, if I remember right, a 1/2 pound of bacon. But no, I'm sorry. I go with a full pound, cut up and put in with the meat here. Because everything's better with bacon. That's the way I see it, and I believe for my meal. I'm taking this over the road with me, and my son likes this, but he likes it a little bit sweeter, so I don't make it as sweet. I changed that too in the recipe with the brown sugar. You could put the right amount of brown sugar if you want it a tad sweeter, or honey. So you put in your bacon. Now this is all going to fry low and slow on the oven. Okay, then I add garlic to it because I am a garlic freak. So I put in 2 heaping spoonfuls. So that would get into the meat, just like that. And it said 2 medium onions. Well, I had 4. So I chopped them up. It doesn't call for it. It calls this to go into the crock pot. But I like the flavor of the onion in the meat too. So I'm going to chuck some of these in with the meat so the garlic and onion can get into that meat and give it some additional flavor. That's the way I see it. Okay, get off of there, onions. So we still have enough to go into the crock pot. Also, I add, and I thought I had it out, everybody, but I didn't. I add a little worshy because I think that adds to the meat too. Let's get this shaken up because it's all on the bottom. We pop this open, and I just put it enough that I know it gets down. You don't have to do this, but this is my personal preference. Oh yeah, that's enough, I think. That's good. That's really good. Now what I do is I got to go over here and heat this, everybody. So let's get this going on the oven and get this all put together in the crock pot. And it takes about 3 hours. There, 3 hours. You can go a little bit longer. It's how thick you want it to get. So minimum of 3. I would say 3 to 5 hours. This meal is done. This could be a side dish or this could be a main meal. I take it as a main meal. And now everybody, how I do mine is I do it over medium heat with a lid. I wanted to show you how it is. I like to take this nice and slow, about 20 plus minutes, because what I like to do is I like to get all this fat, all this flavor, the garlic, the onion. The aroma is just incredible. Wow. That's good. Throw some noodles in there and some mushroom soup. That would even be good. And I like the meat to absorb all this flavor. And I like to get it nice and small chunks. I don't like big chunks when I have this for me personally. So I keep on working it. I keep on getting it. I have it on medium. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more, and I'm going to let this just absorb. Just let that bacon render down. Let the onions release, the garlic release, all that seasoning that we put in there, right about there. And let's get that lid on. I want you all to see how I made the meat for this. And this is my other lid for my other pots and pans, but I like this because I can grab it better. But right there, that's it. I'm just going to let this simmer like this. This is 93.7 meat, and I'm just going to let it simmer. Now it's your choice to drain or not to drain. All right? The recipe for this does not say to drain. It says to cook the hamburger and bacon together in a hot skillet until hamburger is brown and crumbly, 7 to 10 minutes. Stir cooked hamburger and bacon with all the rest of the stuff, and I'll show you, into your crock pot. So it's up to you. You know, I think, you know, is the grease the best for you? No, but it sure does add a lot of flavor. I usually, with this much, with a pound of hamburger and 2 pounds, what I do then is I drain half of it. I drain half of it and I keep the other half for the flavor. That's me personally. It's your call. So I drained half of my grease out. I poured that in here, and the grease is going to give you the flavor. Now, we're getting this all assembled. Now, you go with your pork and beans, and what I did is, for the original recipe, it asked for 1 can, but I moved that up to 1.5 cans. So this is a 19.75 ounce. My wife picked this one up. So we're going to put this in there, but since this is almost doubled, we're going to put 2 cans in there. We'll put that over there and clean that out and get that in a recyclable. So we're going to get the 2 cans of this put in.
Need a spoon?
We're going to mix these up real quick, because the better it gets mixed up, the more yummy it is. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, that's nice and thick. All right, now, the original recipe called for 1 can of kidney beans, rinsed and drained. So I go with 2 cans because I love kidney beans, and I went with red. It also asked for lima beans. I like lima beans, but I like northern beans better, so I went with northern beans. And that is rinsed and drained. We're going to give this a really good mix. Like I said, this is going to take about 3 hours on low, 3 to 5 hours. You got all that hamburger in there. You got all those beans in there. Cowboy. Now this could be a side dish or a main dish. I say main dish, but this could be an awesome side dish. Next thing what you do is you put the rest of your chopped onions in. And like I said, I had, my son is here to give me a hand to start cleaning up. I had small onions, so I cut up 4 of them, and I put some in the meat to get that into there. But now we're going to get these onions in. It seems like a lot, but it was asking for that. But I'm an onion freak. You could cut back on your onions, but this is mixing up so well, everybody. Now, time for our seasoning. 1 cup of ketchup, but we're going to do about almost 2 cups if I have it. I might not have it, everybody. Here's 1. Because I did not realize we were out of ketchup. I asked my wife if we had enough ketchup, and she said yes. Now everybody, we're going to be about 1/3 of a cup off, maybe 1/4 of a cup off. Let's leave that right there. We're going to get that in there. That's like about 3/4. Yeah, that's almost perfect. And we're all out of ketchup. Hopefully I don't need it for any of my other recipes I'm doing today. Use my finger for a second. Oh, nothing like ketchup. That definitely tastes like ketchup. And I will grab my little utensil, because since we're kind of low on the ketchup, might as well get it all out of there. That's a a lot more ketchup. So a regular recipe, the regular 1 serving, asks for 1 cup. So we got 2 cups in there. Now we're going to try to squeeze out the rest of that. Now here's where your sweetness comes in. It asks for 1 cup of brown sugar, but I cut that back to half of the amount, and then I cut it back even a little bit more to a 1/4 cup. So I'm going to go with a 1/2 cup of brown sugar in here. Due to the fact, and when I made this originally, I thought it was way too sweet. So I'm going to put that brown sugar in. I'm not packing it very hard, but since this is almost 2 servings, might as well try that. Then it calls for prepared mustard. So I got my ground mustard, and it said 1 teaspoon, but I went with doubling this. So that would be 2, but since this is more, she's going to get 4. And we got to get this really mixed up good, everybody. Oh, that looks so good. Let's see if we got some arm strength here and we could crank on this and get this all mixed up. It doesn't really, it matters, but it doesn't matter because with the slow pot, this is going to mix and blend like you wouldn't believe, everybody, but just look at that. That is a meal and a half right there. I want to get all of that meat mixed up with that brown sugar and ketchup. From the bottom up. Now, from the bottom up, everybody. That's what we want. And then this is going to slowly start mixing, mending. It's going to release a little bit more of that grease from the meat and the bacon. So let's do this real quick. And we got to at least try, right? Right now. I know it's not warm, but wow. My goodness. That's the right amount of brown sugar. What do you think, Kevin? You wait till that gets nice and hot.
Well, I can't wait for that to be hot.
Wow, that's really good, everybody. See, I do believe that's the right amount of sweetness in it with that brown sugar. But this, I don't know, everybody. Is this a meal or is this a side dish?
I think that could feed you for a week.
You know, meal preps for me over the road. That onion is just perfect in there. The cooked onion and the raw onion right now. This, everybody, you could put some hot peppers in here. You could put a little cheese in here. You could even squirt a little sour cream. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to get it in the crock pot. And then, about 3-4 hours, that's around 5:30, 6 o'clock, we're going to check this out. We're going to package this up. And we're going to see how this tastes once it blends and gets all good. It's time for cowboy beans. Let's just get this lid off. Oh, that smells incredible. Just look at this already. Let me get this a good stir. Oh, yeah. And then we're going to try a taste. Oh, it just smells incredible. Now, if you want this to get a little thicker, there was grease on top. You can skim the grease off, paper towel the grease off, mix the grease back in, or what you can do is have a look-see at that. Oh, look at that, everybody. Isn't that just gorgeous? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Smells incredible. Now my son wants to go with our soup containers. So we're going to start scooping this in here and we're going to take a test, okay? But we're going to get this filled. This is Cowboy baked beans. Done my way. Ooh, that's hot. Hot beans burn daddy. So what he can do with this container is he could take it and then he can scoop out how much he wants. That almost looks like a chili, everybody. So we're going to give that a second to cool, and then we're going to take a taste test for everybody, just to see how good this is. But this stuff is just downright delicious looking. And this was on low for about 3 hours. 4 hours. Definitely give it about 3 hours, everybody. Or even sooner. It's up to you how fast your crock pot. Kevin, why don't you come over here? Let's try this. It's going to be a little hot. But let's get it.
That's why you always have something to drink nearby.
You know. Let's go. Yeah, that's hot there, dude. That's got to be burning that inside of that mouth.
Yeah. Note to self, very hot crock pot. You too.
Note to self. Beans, molten lava. That's really good.
Oh yeah. And the sweetness kicked back in.
Got a little sweet to it. That's why I cut back, on it. It would have been too sweet. It's got a good heartiness to it. Great coloring, great texture. That's really good, everybody. That's excellent. And I don't know, is this a side or a main? I'm going to eat it as a main.
I was going to do the hands up in the air. Why not both?
All right. Take a scoop out of there. Got to save some of this for myself too, there, Kevin James. All right, we're going to finish packaging this up. So that was the slow cooked cowboy beans. I forgot to do the end video, so that's why I don't have my apron on, but it came out really good. We doubled the recipe. My son and I ate that up, and this was done a couple of weeks ago. It was really good. You can tweak this recipe so much your way, and still don't know if it's a side dish or a main dish. Your call. I like to know. Do all that great stuff. Please subscribe. Comments. Is it a side dish or a main dish? How did you do it? Sweeter? Hotter? I like to know. I like to hear. So put some comments down. Share. Like. Hit the little bell for notifications for the next recipes, my fellow cooks. Until the next time, thanks for coming into my kitchen and cooking with me, John. Until the next time, to the next recipe, to the next one we try. You have a great day, a great week. Bye, everybody.